The emergency klaxons had been wailing for 17 minutes when Commander Zethkari first noticed the breach in Containment Bay 7. The hegemony research vessel Infinite Wisdom shuddered as another hull plate buckled under the pressure of the cosmic storm raging outside. But that wasn't what made the veteran Catherian's four hearts skip in synchronized terror. It was the empty habitat pod. "By the void," Zethkari whispered, his chitinous exoskeleton clicking nervously. The reinforced transparent aluminum that had contained specimen 847 Delta lay in crystalline fragments across the laboratory floor. Inside the now empty enclosure, the specialized atmosphere regulators still hummed, maintaining the precise atmospheric composition of Kepler 442b, a death world so hostile that even the hegemony's most advanced environmental suits could only function there for mere hours. The specimen was loose. Dr. Vashati, the expedition's xenobiologist, skittered into the lab on her 8 articulated legs, her sensor arrays twitching frantically. "Commander, we need to evacuate this section immediately. The Terran Death Serpent has—" "I know what's happened," Zethkari cut her off, his mandibles clicking in agitation. "How long until we can get a containment team here? The storm has damaged the main corridors. It could be hours before—" A soft whistle echoed through the laboratory, followed by a peculiar sound that made both aliens freeze. Humming. Someone was humming a melody in the dangerous sector. They turned in horror to see Chief Engineer Sarah, Chen walking casually through the debris-strewn corridor, stepping over twisted metal and sparking conduits as if she were taking a leisurely stroll through a garden. Her simple blue coveralls were stained with coolant and grease, and her dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail. She looked utterly, impossibly relaxed. "Human Chen?" Zethkari's translator struggled with the urgency in his voice. "You must evacuate immediately. The Terran Death Serpent has escaped containment." Sarah paused, tilting her head slightly. "Oh, you mean the little guy from the toxic swamps? The one with the pretty green and black stripes?" "Pretty?" Dr. Vashati's voice rose to a pitch that hurt even her own auditory organs. "That creature produces enough neurotoxin to kill a full-grown Catherian in seconds. Its venom can dissolve hull plating." Sarah's response was a gentle laugh, a sound so alien to the two researchers that they stepped back involuntarily. "Yeah, I read the briefing. Reminds me of the coral snakes back home, except bigger and probably more dangerous." She shrugged. "Haven't seen him yet, though." As if summoned by her words, a sinuous shadow emerged from beneath a fallen equipment rack. The Terran Death Serpent was a magnificent creature, nearly 2 meters long and as thick as a human arm. Its scales shimmered with an oily iridescence that spoke of powerful toxins, and its wedge-shaped head bore the characteristic heat-sensing pits that made it such an efficient predator. Each scale seemed to pulse with malevolent life, and droplets of venom already beaded at the corners of its mouth. Zethkari reached for his emergency beacon, ready to call for an immediate evacuation of the entire sector. Dr. Vashati began backing toward the exit, her optical sensors tracking the serpent's movement with mathematical precision. The snake slithered directly toward Sarah. What happened next would be discussed in xenobiological circles for decades to come, shared in hushed tones across the galaxy, as evidence of humanity's particular brand of terrifying fearlessness. Sarah. Chen looked down at the approaching death machine, smiled, and crouched down with her hand extended. "Hey there, beautiful," she said softly. "You're a long way from home, aren't you?" The serpent paused, its forked tongue flicking out to taste the air. For a moment that stretched into eternity, predator and human regarded each other. Then, with movements so fluid they seemed choreographed, Sarah gently scooped the creature, up behind its head, supporting its considerable weight with her other hand. The Terran Death Serpent, capable of killing any known sentient species with a single bite, settled into her grip like a contented pet. "Look at those beautiful scales," Sarah murmured, completely ignoring the stunned silence of her alien colleagues. "And those heat pits. Evolution really is incredible, isn't it?" She looked up at Zethkari and Dr. Vashati, both of whom appeared to have suffered complete system failure. "Don't worry, He's just scared and probably cold. Ship's environment is nothing like Kepler 442b. Scared? Dr. Vashati managed to whisper. It's the apex predator of an entire continent. Sure, in his environment, Sarah agreed, gently stroking the serpent's back. The creature seemed to lean into the touch. But put any of us somewhere completely alien, with different gravity, atmosphere, temperature, we'd all be scared. She stood up carefully, the snake draped calmly across her arms. Plus, look at him. He's beautiful. Probably just wants to go home. Zethkari found his voice. Human Sarah, how are you not dead? Sarah's grin was radiant. Oh, I grew up in Australia. My dad was a herpetologist, studied reptiles and amphibians. I've been handling snakes since I was 7 years old. She paused thoughtfully. Granted, none of them could melt through a starship hull, but the principle's the same. Respect the animal, stay calm, support their weight properly, and don't make sudden movements. She began walking toward the damaged containment unit. Mind giving me a hand fixing his habitat? Poor guy's probably dehydrated, and the atmospheric mixture is all wrong. No wonder he was trying to escape. As Sarah carefully returned the galaxy's most feared predator to its enclosure, humming softly while she worked, Zethkari and Dr. Vashati exchanged a look of profound understanding. They had just witnessed something that would reshape their understanding of humanity forever. Later, in his report to Hegemony Command, Commander Zethkari would write, recommend immediate revision of human threat assessment protocols. Previous classifications vastly underestimate species capabilities. Note for future reference, when humans describe something as pretty or beautiful, maintain maximum safe distance. But in the moment, he simply watched in awe as Sarah Chen finished calibrating the habitat controls, gave the serpent one final gentle pat, and turned back to them with that impossible human smile. Anyone want some coffee? I was about to take a break when the alarms started going off. The universe, Zethkari reflected, was a far stranger and more wonderful place than any of them had imagined.